Hello everyone, Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Path Trading Partners along with Bob Iacchino. Thanks for everyone's well wishes over the last couple days. Sorry I've been so sick. I only got to get very limited videos out. Still getting better, but I'm trying to get some more videos out the best I can. So, Bitcoin Gold, 4-hour chart. Again, rotation zone against it. We're seeing lower prices in this. Let's really zoom out to the daily chart. Daily chart right now, we're sitting at this nice little GAN cluster. Rotation zone is against it, so I'm not expecting higher prices anytime soon. We'd have to get a close back above the rotation zone for that to happen. So there's nothing aggressive. Watching for bigger pullbacks. Next level's 193. Then the next major level I'm targeting is about this 164, 162 to 164 level. Checking on the weekly. The weekly, that 164 is also this very key level right here. So that's one to watch for Bitcoin Gold with continued weakness. Looks like a lot of things are rotating out of Bitcoin into other things. Any of the Bitcoins, that's what I mean. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, or Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Cash, US dollar. So we've, again, now the rotation zone back against it on the 4-hour chart. Still going to watch for lower prices. Next key support based off the 4-hour chart is about this 1932 to 1947 area. We have the flat 200 simple moving average, and we have a little GAN cluster down here, so that's a key one to watch. If you do take any long positions, be careful because it is against the rotation zone, and when we are against the rotation zone, that is very key support. So that is a great place to take some profits or at least move up your stop should it reverse lower. Remember, we look to buy these when the rotation zone is against us, when it dips in. Same thing when the rotation zone's against us. We want to sell into it. Just wanted to point out something. We've had a couple double bottoms, which are very high probability against key levels that didn't work. This was a little one. Couldn't get the video out because I was so sick, but this was a little mini double bottom in Bitcoin Cash. And you see here, pretty much went fully to target. And I'll show you why this was against a key position when I zoom out to daily chart, but just remember this was only a 2-target double, pretty much closed to the end of the second target and then resumed its sell-off. This is also why using targets is so important. That makes sure you don't get greedy. You don't go, oh, this is going to the moon again, I'm just going to ride along. No, this is a little double bottom that could have been played off a 1-hour chart that went to a full target and then sharply reversed again. What do I mean about a key area? When we look at the daily chart, it was triggered at the bottom of the rotation zone. So that is a very key area, and we got that little reversal pattern. Went to target, you see that here on the daily chart, and then reversed lower. That's why we want to have targets. So now, this is continuing lower. Next major level I'm watching for is this 1931. We may find some minor support at this 1837. And then there's some pretty major support about the 1760 area, which is also a very key support level you see right here. By the way, this other support level I mentioned, this 1937, is also a prior breakout zone, and it's double lining up GAN levels, so that's a very significant level, so watch for that. But we are not being aggressive. We're letting these pull back, being very patient. I hope you guys had your stops in place or know where to lighten up so you can add back lower. The Bitcoin series are on a new level of price discovery, returning to somewhat more of a fair value, or what people have thought are fair value, because they got very overextended, and people, with a lot of the cryptos, they're rushing into the next shiny object, and then there'll be a certain time when people will come back into these when it hits a certain point. So those are the next key levels we're watching for lower in Bitcoin Cash. Finally over to the original Bitcoin, this high probability double also got just stopped out on this close below the 62.5% retracement level from the bottom. So that trade is now over. It's one of the few that have not worked in the crypto world in the last number of months. This is a very high probability pattern, whether you're trading stocks, futures, forex, especially against key levels. This one couldn't even get to stop reduction zone. So that is not generally a very good sign right now. We're hands off. Rotation zone is against it now on the 4-hour. So any any buys for anybody. You should be very careful. You're against the rotation zone, so at least move up stops in this one also. Don't get greedy at this point. And if you take these short-term trades, know you're against the rotation zone, know where that rotation zone is, and take some off the table. Because if this thing's going to head lower, which we believe it is now, then we're going to want to pick some up at key levels lower, but not getting greedy. Let's take a look at where this could go. All right, right now we dipped down to this other GAN level, which we talked about, which we've hit a number of times. We've dipped through it even, but this 11.8 level, which has been on our charts, we pointed this out. You can go back a couple weeks before this major sell-off. We were talking about the 11,800 level. Hit it here, just hit it here again. Now virtually trading at the 50-day exponential moving average, which we've also talked about, and the 50% retracement level. So that is very key. Let me just adjust something here too. All right, so on any rallies, we now have the rotation zone against us on the daily. If it does rally, major resistance is now going to come in about 14,146 is the first level to 14,456. So that's the major area of resistance, which pretty much lines up with the rotation zone. We're now watching for this to come back down and test this 11,848, which will be at that point the fourth major test of that level, which generally doesn't hold then across all asset classes. Once you've had three, if it goes down and tests it again, the probabilities of that level holding are very low. Just keep that in mind. If that does break, then we're going to be watching for about 10,007 to 10,008 to see how it holds there. If that's broken, we have a GAN projection downwards, 9551, which is just above this prior little support shelf where it paused for a few days before resuming its up move. Lots of people are going to be focused on this as a key level of support. And if that's broken, next level down is about 9,000, and then below that, 8402. So what are we going to do with these levels? Again, we're not trying to buy anything here. We're just trying to let it drop, and then find a high probability reversal pattern or another capitulation bottom pattern, which we've gone over, which could be, where everybody sort of throws up their arms. Everybody who's bought up here is now wrong, okay? And they're like, it's not coming back. It's not coming back. What do I do? And if they give up and start massive selling, then you get these big red candles, and eventually you see buyers, hey, that's at a price that I'm willing to step in and buy it, and a bunch of people will jump in and buy it, creating a tail. Then we watch for a 50% retracement of that tail. Also, a few weeks ago, I put out a video on what happens, correlations with mania tops. I compared it to the NASDAQ in 1999, 2000. One of the key things is when you see something run up massively and then it can't get back above this 62.5% level of its last major sell-off. So we had this massive run up, you had this major sell-off, and then it can't get above the 62.5%. We've seen this time and time again on markets that have gone vertical, and it doesn't matter, commodities, futures, foreign exchange, stocks. It happened in the NASDAQ bubble. You get this stall out somewhere between the 0.5 and 62.5, and it generally happens close to 62.5. And then we get a downward move. It's a high probability that we'll have substantially lower prices if this pattern will play out also in the cryptos, as we do expect it to until it proves it wrong. So we're expecting lower prices and going to be very, very patient. We will not get anywhere aggressive until we're back and we have the rotation zones and the price action back above the rotation zones on the 4-hour and the daily time frame. That's what we're watching for. There's other things. That's why you can be diversified into a lot of different cryptos. We also highlighted things before this massive run up in Ripple. We were one of the first to put out a video a few days ago talking about the next levels higher before everybody rushed into it. So just keep that in mind. There's other things, and you don't have to chase price. Take your time. Let markets pull back. They did get very overextended. Just looking at the weekly chart on Bitcoin, we're only back to right now the top of the weekly rotation zone. See these other GAN levels, which people be shocked. Oh, you're talking it could go to 8,400? That's just the bottom of the rotation zone on the weekly chart. Yeah, that could easily happen. Look, return to it here. Return to it here. This one just returned to the top, but then it kept ripping away. This finally returned to the top. We're still trading at the top. This could easily see 8,400, which would shock most people. But don't be shocked, so have a plan. You need to have a plan to know what to do. Don't get caught off guard. You can always lighten up and put it back on lower. Or if you have profits in it, I hope you've been taking some or at least trailing a stop to know to get out of some so you can properly trade this, because everything does not keep going up all the time. Sometimes corrections happen. Many times they happen. They just haven't happened very frequently in the crypto world. But these have not been trading like normal everyday markets. They've been trading more like mania markets, and at some point those will at least more normalize. Just keep that in mind and keep trading with your plan. Hope these videos help you. As I get better, I'll get more out in the coming days. Talk to everyone soon. Again, thanks for all the well wishes. Bye for now.